Dhul-Qarnayn. Today I almost got married, but did not work. Go ahead, Duran.
Hey, how are you doing, Christian Prince? Salam al-Masih.
Salam al-Masih.
Yeah. Hey, so I found about this problem in the, about Surah Al-Kahf when it talks about Dhul-Qarnayn, about how he saw the sun setting in muddy spring of water.
Yeah.
I found like a little extra issue that I want to add over here, and I want your opinion on it.
All right.
Yeah, so can you open up Surah Al-Kahf number 83?
No problem. Here we go. You want 86 or 83, you said?
83.
Okay.
So we all know about the story about it, about how Al-Tabari said that it literally means what it actually shows to mean that the sun actually goes inside the earth with its whole form, and how Ibn Kathir and Mutaakhirin of Ahl Tafsir said otherwise, said no, just describing what he saw in general. We all know about the whole story. But the thing I want to point out to is, if you read it, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنْ ذِي الْقَرْنَيْنِ قُلْ سَأَتْلُو عَلَيْكُمْ مِنَّهُ ذِكْرًا. Minno in here, the second last word in 83, minna تفيد التبعيض, which indicate the story is going to be short. If you go to 84, it's going to say إِنَّا مَكَّنَّا لَهُ فِي الْأَرْضِ. إِنَّا تفيد التوكيد. Isn't that right?
Correct.
Christian Prince.
I'm with you. I said fine, yeah.
Yeah, إِنَّا تفيد توكيد, indicating something important is going to be heading the story. And the entire story of Dhul-Qarnayn in Surah Al-Kahf is very short. If you put it in a Google document, it's going to take a space of like 1 page. It's very short. So what is the point of God mentioning that he just saw the sun setting in a muddy spring of water? If the story was meant to be short, very short with lack of huge details. And in general, it meant to indicate something important in the story. And the Quran is all the stories in it doesn't have that much amount of details.
Well, the Muslim, they will say to you, well, the Quran is trying to mention the most important, not all his life in details. They are asking about him, so he decided to tell you the most important, the guy he found where the sun rise, and he found where the sun set, and he built a dam between Gog and Magog and mankind. That's the whole accomplishment of Dhul-Qarnayn.
Yeah, basically very short. And even beside that, we all know the Cameron's response to it by, that how the springs of water are very small, objectively very small. It's like me saying I saw the sun setting in my bathtub. And plus you have to be at least relatively close to the spring of water for you to know it is a spring of water. How come he didn't say, and he found a body of water? No, he found a spring while he was close to it,
Yeah, the Muslim, they try to defend it, and they say that this is from his perspective, and this is how he thought. But this is false. First of all, it's a spring of water, and there's no way any human being would think the sun is sitting in a spring of water, because spring is small. It's not even a lake. Number two, it's not him talking, and Allah did not say he thought. He said he found it. So Allah reporting a fact and a find, not a thought, not maybe. In fact, he says, and he found it, he reached the sitting place of the sun. The sitting place of the sun, which means it's a location, not a metaphorical thing. He reached a place, and that place is where the sun set. And then he found near it people, so there's many find in the same time. He was not, it's not an apparent, it was what he found. And Allah reporting a fact is not reporting fiction. Because if he thought that the sun sitting in murky water, that would be stupid of Allah to say. He thought the sun sitting in murky water, because there is no point. He is guided by Allah. How he will find something not true? Because he is the one who said to him, "Inna makkanna lahu fil ard." Verily, we established in him in the earth, and we gave him every mean. And the most important of means is to give knowledge and guidance. So if Allah gave him the every mean and guidance, then how the man he was able to find such a find which is funny and silly.
Exactly. And also want to add like one extra thing in here about the whole the story of Dhul-Qarnayn. Something also I kind of like thought about and found out myself is that if you think about it deeply, some people may actually give like complete different interpretation of Ain Hamia, as we all know. Some people have said it is the North or South Pole. Some people said it is the Black Sea. Some people said it's an ocean. They had like an oil leak in it, even though natural oil leaks are not even that big. Some people have said that it is a volcano even. But in general, my friend, if you think about it deeply, the more interpretation, the more meaning you give to a word, the more it will lose its meaning, you know? And if you go to At-Tabari explains very sincerely. He said he found this setting in a spring of water. You know, it's exactly like how the Muslim would try to explain Alif Lam Mim, Alif Lam Ra, Kahayas. I mean, what are these? Are these like the password for Wi-Fi password in heaven, in Jannah, for example? You know what I'm talking about?
Well, we do not need a Tabari. We have Muhammad. Muhammad, he said in the hadith that he said to Abu Dharr, do you know where the sun goes? He said Allah and his messengers know best. He said it goes and sit in a blazing water. Hamiyah. All right?
Yeah, I know this one, but this one is usually weak. But even if you took this
No, this is not weak. Who said this? Who said this is weak?
The fact that there is a different one with a different wording in it says
doesn't matter. All the hadith there have different word of them. Not a single hadith is the same exactly, because Muhammad never reported the story. Even Quran, he reported the Quran according to him seven times in 7 ways. Different wording, right? Yeah. So that will not make it, even it is Sahih, because first of all, it's in Sunan Abi Dawood. Secondly, it is all Sahih chain, and all the men are trustworthy. All the one who reported the hadith are trustworthy. So he mentioned that, and then at the same time, you can find in al-Bukhari, they ask him, Muhammad, he asked, do you know where the sun set? Abu Dharr, he said, Allah and his messenger know best. And then he explained that it goes and sit in under the throne of Allah, and then he is going to go and go down specifically in a muddy boiling water. In fact, I have a hadith here. Let me show you, as long as you know Arabic. And no Muslim can dispute it. You see my screen? See it?
Yeah, I see it.
All right. I will use a translation. Actually, we can translate all of it, so nothing will be missing. For you do not need translation, you know Arabic.
Abu Dharr reported, I was riding behind the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings be upon him, on a donkey, and the sun was setting. He said, do you know where the sun sets? I said, Allah and his messenger know best. He said, it sets in a hot spring. It travels until it prostrates before its Lord, the Almighty and Majestic, beneath the throne. When the time comes for it to rise, Allah grants it permission, and it rises. But when He wants it to rise from the place where it sets, He withholds it, and it says, O Lord, my journey is long. Then He says to it, rise from where you set. That is the time when a person's faith will be of no benefit to him.
So now what we have a very clear evidence from Muhammad, and no Muslim can deny that, saying that the sun sit under the throne of Allah, and the throne of Allah is above a water which is boiling water. And if we read the hadith together, does it say here, إسناده صحيح على شرط Muslim?
It does, yeah.
And this is from a silsila sahiha. All is authentic, correct? Right? All is authentic. Okay, so
It is.
they can deny as much they want. Who care? We will get them busted. If you don't mind, my friend, this lady, Muslim lady from Philippines, oh, she left? Did you leave? Come back, come back. She came back to talk to me because I wanted to get married, but it would, you know. I offered her, but sadly, she didn't last like 3 days, 3 nights, as Prophet Muhammad said.
I guess, yeah, some people are just a bit dogmatic about their own opinions. They don't want to debate in general. But
Yep.
besides that, what is your opinion about what I found recently? About منة تفيد التبعيض.
About what?
About منة تفيد التبعيض in 83.
Will not make any difference anyway, because the Muslims always will have a solution for anything you ask them. The problem is there. Obviously, the biggest problem in the surah is not the language, because the language, always the Quran is stupid as a language. But what it says there is very convincing that the one who wrote the Quran is an idiot. This is a story written about Dhul-Qarnayn, which is Alexander the Great, by a fictional writer. Mostly his name is Yaqub, and he wrote the story about Dhul-Qarnayn. He called him Dhul-Qarnayn because simply the Roman, they wear a hat when they go to war, and you know, this became the popular name in the story. But Muhammad obviously don't even know the name of the person, so he called him the one with the 2 horns. In fact, based on the story, he is a messenger of Allah. According to the story, he is a messenger of Allah, and he was spreading Islam.
Yeah, I know, but also don't forget Dhul-Qarnayn doesn't also refer to horns. It can also refer to a nation. Dhul-Qarnayn can also refer to like the one with 2 nations. It has like completely
No,
different.
the Muslim, they have different explanation from what I said to you. The Muslim, they say that Dhul-Qarnayn, he went to his people to ask them to convert to Islam. They hit him with the hammer in his head, on his head, and this is how he got his 4th horn, and he died. Then Allah raised him from death, and he came back again, and he asked them to convert to Islam, and they hit him again in the other side of his head with the hammer, and he got the 2nd horn. This is the Muslim intelligence in their tafsir.
Yeah, and one last thing, Maghrib al-Shams. Like even if you check the old interpretation and old tafsir and all of that, Maghrib al-Shams was always known as a noun of place, ism makan. It was never seen or heard as a noun of time, ism zaman. How can they change it to like ism zaman?
No, here here obviously it's a place, because it says until he reach the sitting place of the sun. Hatta إذا بلغ, it's not like it's until the time. So he reached the sitting place of the sun. This is why even the Muslim translation is saying until he reached the sitting place of the sun, he found something. So he's moving. In fact, the verse before it says that he's moving, going away until he reach. What he reach? Where the sun set.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and don't forget when like Allah says Rabbul Maghribayn wa Rabbul Mashriqayn.
Exactly.
The Lord of
the 2 east and the 2 west. Yeah.
Exactly.
Why? Because Muhammad, he could not explain. He could not understand why the sun is a changing location. So he thought there's 2 west and 2 east. Right?
Yeah. Rabbul Mashriqayn. No.
Yeah. Chapter 55, verse 17.
Yeah, as if these areas are even like existing for them to worship Allah. They're just something you see with your own naked eye. How can something you see that doesn't exist happen to worship Allah? That's a real question here, isn't it?
All this chapter here actually is funny. Like the 2 seas, the salty sea and the fresh sea, they meet, but they don't mix. It's just stupid, because he thought the fresh water is a sea, and it is totally separated from the. He could not explain why we have a sea under the ground. And like
But it's also
you dig a well, you find water. So for him, this was a sea, and the barrier of it, protected from the sea, is the ground. But we know that this is stupid.